Genesis.
Yep.
Let's talk about you. How can you define yourself?
I love art. I love people, and I love beautiful ideas. Um, guess that would sum me up. I guess.
Let me know about your dreams.
Um, my dream, I guess, is to continue to do what I'm doing, but for more people, or something that could reach more people. So I love poetry. I write poetry. I love music. I make music, but if I could reach more people, that would help to enlarge in the dream, to reach more, I guess.
Why are you so involved with your community in Chattanooga? What's the reason?
Just being human. I think it's just being human. It's just something that just, it's a passion that just lives inside of me. And I see myself, different qualities of myself in everybody, and I hope everyone sees a part of themselves in me. So helping people is it's like helping yourself. I don't know, it's weird, but it's just I just love
A way of being in life.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
When did you start with these activities around the poetry and creativity? You are very young. Let me know about your beginning.
I guess maybe 2003 is when I really started getting into music. But with art, it kind of takes some time if you don't know the right people to figure out how to make a living doing it. So it wasn't until about 2010 that I was able to make a living, like traveling. Oh, you?
No, it's not me.
Yeah, but to be able to
Almost stole the dessert.
yeah, but to yeah, in order to make a real living, it wasn't until like 2010, and that freed up time to do more things, where you can give more resources or more time to different civic kind of impacts. Yeah.
Let me know about the first experiences, the first activities that you developed.
It was like a workshop, like a poetry kind of creative workshop. Where we'd sit around on like bean bags, like these big bags that you can, like couches, but just bags you just sit on. We were in a really rough community. There was actually one session I had where a guy on a block behind us, he got shot. He was 16 years old. He got shot 5 times while we were in the middle of a workshop. And I had it there to help the community in that area, because they were kind of getting into a lot of things that just it doesn't build, it destroys communities, like violence and gangs and drugs and a bunch of stuff. So this was a way to get them to explore a different part of themselves. And yeah, a guy got shot like in the middle. Like we heard the noises, we was ducking down, and we went outside. He was laying on the ground, and that was the beginning of the workshops that I started doing around the city.
So you are an idealist.
Huh?
You are a person who has an ideal.
Yeah.
A big idea of people being together and going on as a society, as individuals, but as a society.
Right.
How was your childhood?
It was full of love. My parents, they showed a lot of unconditional love, and it didn't matter how many mistakes I made, I always got encouraged to get up and try something new. they were really open. They're my best friends. We talk every day. I probably see them 2 or 3 times a month. Not as much as I'd like, but yeah, they're my best friends. It's always full of love. And my dad was in the military, so we traveled a lot. And
where did you were born?
I was born here in Chattanooga, but 3 days after that, we kind of went. Like, I was only here for 3 days, and then we already moved somewhere new. And since then, it was just a bunch of traveling. And but I think it helped make me more rounded as a person.
What cities or what states have you been living in?
Oh man, a lot of Key West, Florida, Kentucky, like out in the country, Fort Knox, Virginia Beach. I lived in New Jersey, lived in New York, lived in Georgia. I was a grown-up in New Jersey and New York, but Florida, I was a child. South Carolina, I was like a 15, no, like 12 maybe. I lived a bunch of places.
What's your favorite place to live?
Here.
Here, Chattanooga.
Yeah,
Why?
This is my favorite. I love how I'm real big on nature, and I love how the natural things like the mountains and the valleys kind of intersect with the city, and I like that it's open enough. It's still the South, so it's still kind of behind, but it's open enough to where these people that started this are from California, the coffee shop we're in, and they had an idea, they got a building, they put some stuff together, and they got a coffee shop. It's you can start something really quick here. It doesn't take long, whereas in New York, it's so crowded, so much going on. I mean,
yes, it's like a city who is growing up now, just now, and being here, it's an opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
I can realize, even if I'm from abroad and I'm not going to stay here for a long time,
Right.
I can realize what you mean.
Right.
And you are right, I agree. So let me know about we talk about your dreams. You have been writing. Let me know about your books, your projects, your personal projects.
Yeah, so I was working on this for about a year, 6 months to a year, because I still had a bunch of music projects that I was doing, but so it took about 6 months to a year to complete the book of poetry. But poetry is like my baby. Like it's where it all started for me, you know. And so I'm more known in music, but I would love to get a lot of the momentum behind the book and the poetry, because it just takes so long sometimes to put a book out, you know. Music nowadays with technology, we can go in a room, make a record, put it out the next day. But a book, man, I mean, it takes a lot out of you. And so that's one of the beautiful things about it, is because it is a process and it does take time, and it really weeds out who wants to put a book out and who doesn't, because it takes a lot of time to do it. And so when you create it, it's out there, and it just feels good to have something tangible that you can touch and say, man, these things in my head, it's like I birthed a child, I feel.
Yes, I think that there is something wonderful in the process, probably.
Yeah.
Let me know about your creative process, your personal creative process.
It usually involves a lot of walks.
Walks.
Oh man, I take a lot of walks. And just, I get inspired from my own things I've went through, and relationships, and with women, with artists, with, you know, sometimes I sit with like homeless, and just to sit down and just share my time, and just kind of there's an exchange. They're tired of people just walking by as if they don't exist, and I'm thirsty for for an exchange and
Experiencing
yeah, an experience.
another point of view.
Exactly. So it's just being, more human, and so I incorporate a lot of that, and everything I write everything I've written is from real life. There's nothing that's made up. I can write one that's like fiction, but this is like all true. Like there was a homeless guy I was sitting with who put a can down, and there is this girl that I love, but there's this, and then like everything in there is something that.
What do you pretend to transmit to your readers with this book?
I don't know. I just want them to read it and just feel something. And if they feel something, then I feel like I achieved my goal.
Why is the title Words in Grey? I know that you are playing with your name, but let me know about the grey color. Why is it so important to you?
Well, the simply, it's my favorite color, but another piece of it is I always saw gray as like there was some wisdom to it, and there was a level of experience to gray.
Probably I think that I know what you mean. When people say between black and white, there is a lot of kinds of grays.
Right.
So let's find that place.
Exactly.
In life, in mind,
Exactly.
probably in poetry, in feelings, in being together. So it's a kind of philosophy of life.
Exactly.
Is that?
Yeah. No. It's like before. Gray to me is like. It's after you jumped off of the cliff, but before you hit the water.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's in
the middle.
Right. And there's so much in that in between.
Yes. There is everything. The way is in the middle.
Oh, if gray was music, so you have the note, when you're playing da 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 da, and some pianists they fill it up with a lot of notes, da 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 da, but then you have some that they'll play the notes, which are beautiful. But then there's that space where there's nothing being played, and that's just as beautiful. The space between the notes is just as beautiful as the notes.
Mm-hmm.
And
kind of silence.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Or the echo.
Yeah.
Or even the anticipation of the next one.
Yeah, and you can.
I like it.
It's that space to reflect.
I like it. Genesis. So, in the book, you are playing all the time with the reader. You are playing with the names, with the words. You are playing with the colors.
Yeah.
There is a big, like a bunch of colors. I guess that you are trying to transmit your feelings as well with the colors.
Right.
Before the words.
Right. Exactly. I want people to feel it.
When did you have the idea, or how did you think about this way of playing with colors and feelings and words?
Yeah, I just always saw music in color. There's a lot of artists that I've worked with in the past that kind of shared that same thing, where they saw a lot of music in color. They're like, man, this makes me feel like warm. This sounds like orange, or this sounds this, and so with me, it's like that with music, but it's also like that with poetry. I can read a poem and be like, wow, this is like blue kind of, this is, and so that's what inspired me to break it up that way. It's just because that's how I see music and words.
Music is so important for you, Genesis. I know that in the group of poetry, used to listen first a piece of music to let the inspiration.
Did you like that song?
Oh yes, I love it. Her is one of my favorite movies in the last year. So
that's a beautiful movie.
It's a beautiful, so deep.
It's sad too.
I know, but it's really smart, and the clarividence of the point of view is so actual, so useful for now, so real.
Yeah.
It's a kind of metaphor, I guess.
It is. No, it is. It is, for sure.
So anyway, you said that you use the music, or maybe you grow up with music when you were a child, and it's like a kind of step. First step music, maybe second step nature or colors or all around landscapes, and writing could be the last step for you, the highest level of creativity. What do you think? Or is just this moment of your life?
Well, writing is really big in my life. Words, whether I write them, whether I have them floating in my head, they'll always be big to me. And this is just a way to get them out of my head and into a way I can share it with others. And if they love it, great. If they hate it, still cool with me. You know. I think for artists that's an important hurdle to get over, because I know I have some friends that, you know, they're talented, they're just kind of afraid to take that step because they're thinking of what others may think, like, oh, you know, they might not like this. And it was an interview, this guy that said, what's the key to success?
What's that?
In this interview, he's an artist, he's a musician. They said, what is the key to success? And he said, I don't know the key to success, but the key to failure is making music for everyone else and not yourself. And I feel the same way with music and writing and everything. Once you start thinking of what other people are thinking too much, you know, you've already failed. Just create what's true to you, and that's it. You've done your job as an artist. It's like a service. Yeah, a gift. It's a gift. You're giving it. And, you know.
That's a beautiful way of understanding.
Oh, no, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Okay, finish.
Can I have one of these? Is that like to wake you up and stuff?
Yeah. She's like a little boost.
Yeah.